Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum everyone, and I welcome you all on my channel, and I hope everyone is fine. So today we would be discussing about how to write a simple code on Arduino IDE. I would be explaining you how to write a simple code on Arduino IDE and how you can make other changes in it to make it much more flexible for your own use. Although the designs and working phenomena of your code depends upon your design and your model, but here I would be simply explaining how to control the direction and motion of of simple two DC motors. We would be using a motor driver, so that's why we are using enable function over here. I would be explaining you ahead also that how we are doing it and how we would be working on it. So let's get started with it. So over here you have seen that I have defined my parameters, just like in C language or assembly language or any kind of other languages that we have been using. We define our parameters in the start. In this we haven't included any kind of header file. If you would be initializing it with our C language code or C plus language code or even assembly language code, we are simply defining our parameters and their pins. Arduino is basically a very simple controller device. That's why it's used worldwide for many purposes. It has a wide range that ranges from nano to mega, uno to mega, and even furthermore. Its number of pins depend upon its function that we would be implementing. Here we could use an Arduino Uno flexibly, and we could do perform functions from it. Remember not to use Arduino RTX and RX pins in it, so that you could avoid any kind of error in your code, because usually Arduino IDE do not accept TX and RX values pins, because they perform different errors, and it's basically transmitting and receiving pins, so they are not used in the code. So we have three parameters over here: ML, which is motor left; MR, which is motor right; and enable pin. As you can see over here, all these three pins are of PWM. PWM is basically the certain kind of pins that are divided in the Arduino. These are usually having a sinusoidal it's a block up and down refined graphs. So furthermore, we have two parameters in this Arduino IDE code. One is a void setup. Uh, if you open the Arduino code, you would be seeing two things, two setups. One is a void setup and one is void loop. These are the two functions that would be available already written on the Arduino IDE. In the setup part, you define their inputs and outputs, that which one of them pins is input and which of them pin is output. Here all three of them are outputs, because we are not using any kind of sensors, or we are not giving it any kind of input. We are simply defining it with the outputs. All the three pins are the output, and how to write them output is that we use pin mode. You please concentrate over here that we have written a M capital, which defines its mode, a new phrase starting, a new letter starting just with the next one. Pin mode, and the pay of the pin is smaller. You must take in account of these parameters in your coding, because these can result in a serious error in your code and result in failure of your coding. So please remember this. Next is the void loop. Now void loop defines the function, or what is happening inside the code, what is happening in the whole procedure would be written in this void loop. Now first we have to in writing code in Arduino, if we want to implement something, we would use two type of reading. One is our analog read and one is analog write. Similarly, digital read and digital write. Now, analog depends upon the variable signals, the signals which are changing with the respect of time, and digital signals remain constant. That's why they could be also be given with high and low commands instead of giving them values or voltages. So let's get started. Analog write. Here you can again see, like the pin mode, W is bigger, capital, which prominence is right, and enable is given a voltage of 2 to 5, that is, sorry, given a speed of 2 to 5. Now this speed can be determined using our the speed can be determined by using our duty cycle that is present in the PWM. That's why we used PWM pins in the start, because PWM enables us to control the speed using duty cycles, and this method can be used furthermore. You can see the code, the formula of duty cycle in the net, or any other head is it would be resolving. It is a very common method. Now a digital write, now we are writing a code of a car that has two wheels. It has motor left, that has right, one left side of wheel, and motor right, that is right side of the wheel. Now in the start we are doing it that enable 255 225, it's given the speed, and then we give them that left motor should be on. That means the left tire is on and the right tire is off. This means that the motor would move towards the right. That means right would be stopped, and the left would move in the curve side. Then we have given it a delay of 5000 delay. 5000, now 5000 doesn't mean that 5000 minutes or second. It is my 5000 milliseconds, which will be approximately equals to 50 seconds to the max. And then we would be giving it to analog write again, and we would be giving it enable 150. Now this, you can see the speed decreased from the previous one, because we want to change something. Then we did analog right. Now then in this we give the motor left is equals to low and motor right is equals to high. This means now it is not moving towards the right, it is moving towards the left. Why this? So that the left is put constant and the right moves. This gives a function of turnings. These both were the turning function of it. If you want that any kind of sensor could sense it, you could just add sensors over here, and they write a reading as well with if functions. If sensor 1 is on, if sensor 2 is on, and it represents respectively. Then we have the, now this was the direction control, that it is moving from left or to right. Now it's speed control. Now how it is speed control? We control the speed by enables value, where like as you can see in in the start we did with 225, then we did 150, and then with 250. This is decreasing and changing or increasing. That means changing variable speeds. And now and you can also see that we have written digital write to the motors and enable write to the encoders, because its speed was changing but the motors were staying constant digital value. So that's why we used it. So this is a simple code and it's finished, and I hope you would like it. And if anything else, you can also be doing changes, like you could add different you can also check it on the Proteus, as I have done it in this. So you just need uh, a simple Arduino. This is an Arduino Mega poster, because I was working on Arduino Mega, so I used Arduino Mega. You can also use Arduino Uno or Arduino Nano. It's up to you, and it has less pins, so you can use it easily. This is the motor driver. This is the motor driver, and with the motor driver there is a motor going on, working connected. As you can see that we have done output 1 and output 2 with the motor, and in a BCC and BC we have given the voltage. Then we also have connected ground with the Essenza and Sensa pins. This originally these pins are also available on it, and we do connect them over there. So I hope you liked it. Thank you so much. Allah Hafiz.